Irrational and emotionally fragile by nature, female co-workers are a peculiar animal. They are very insecure about their appearance. Be sure to tell them how good they look every day, even if they're homely and unkempt.
Guys, as some of you know, I spent some time with my nephew this weekend, and heck of a kid. Now, I might be looking at him with family-colored goggles on, but he's smart. He's on the ball. And while we're out, I let him say basically whatever the heck he wanted. Any curse, by all means, knock yourself out. We were playing this game where we fought a gigantic kaiju, and he says, "The fuck?" And I look at him, and he looks at me, and I was like, go ahead, man. It's all good. Don't worry about it. That, friends, is freedom of speech. And you know what? During that time, he was relaxed, he was happy, he was enjoying himself, and we had a lot of good talks about a lot of things that I'm pretty sure he does not talk to his mom about. And why? Because he felt the freedom to be able to express himself and not have to worry about any type of blowback and the like. And that brings us to what's right on screen. From Disclose TV, breaking: Twitter has been sold to Elon Musk and will go private after agreeing to a deal worth $44 billion. This is something that's been in the cards for probably about the entirety of the month of April. Like, this has been just him sitting there flirting with it, and then saying, yeah, I want 9%. Then he's like, nah, I'd rather have the whole thing. And he got the bread to do it. So, by all means, congratulations to Mr. Musk. A big part of his stated reason for wanting the platform is he considers it the town hall, the town square, and freedom of speech is apparently a priority to him. Now, as far as what his real intentions are, well, we'll see. But this is the stated goal, and this has a ton of people, particularly those who would call themselves on the right, cheering. And, well, let's see what those on the other side of the aisle have to contribute to the conversation here, huh? That's the fun. That's the fun. That's why we do this, son. All right, well, sir. And it's rare that I bring up a dude, right? But hey, sir, by all means, let's go.
Are you concerned about the rise of American fascism? Well, today, you can be more concerned.
No, I'm actually not concerned about the rise of American fascism because, sir, I just sat through 2 years of our governments, and I say governments, every level, state, local, county, federal level, completely wiping their ass with our constitutional rights, and still aiming to do it at this very moment. So as far as the rise of fascism, not that concerned. I'm concerned about the fascism that's already here.
It's almost certain that with this move, Trump is going to come back to social media.
And that's the thing. He has a constitutional right to it. See, the fun part is, and the part that they don't want to acknowledge, is that freedom of speech goes both ways. It goes all ways. People should be able to say whatever the heck they want. And one of the things that I've noticed, particularly throughout the course of my lifetime, remember, I'm 40, guys, is how the equation, right? Like, they've equated words with violence, like actual words, saying words with physical violence. Now, as guys, we know that these are two completely different concepts, and the words don't hurt. The words, say whatever the heck you want. Actions are what count. But because this has been, even before I was born, like 60, 70 years in the making, with saying the softening of the men and the quote-unquote empowerment of the women, leading a lot of men to believe that thinking in a feminine way is optimal. You have individuals who are like, oh yes, words are violence. Words are violence. They're the exact same thing. And it's like, no, not even close.
I mean, this has so many horrific implications. I'm not even sure where to start, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
There is a problem with this idea of free speech, and that is...
What's the problem? You see, there's a problem with the idea of having the ability to articulate your argument and let the listeners decide for themselves who to listen to. And the deal is that really is a bunch of projection coming from yourself, because you want the ability to control what other people think and what other people do and how other people live their lives. And if you want to sit here and break things down from one side to the other, it is those who recognize the next person's autonomy and just, hey, hope for the best in the choices that they make for themselves, knowing that it's going to be trash, but it is what it is. These are your choices to make. Or those who seek to control how people think and what people do, and are actually okay with fascism. And that's where, sir, you find yourself.
It is, where is the limit? Free speech has the ability to incite some really horrific and hateful things.
But things aren't the speech. Let's be real about this. Let's be adults about this. You can talk as much shit as you want, but that is completely separate from actually going out and committing, or, oh, well, this person inspired me, but yeah, you're still the idiot that went out and did it. That line needs to be drawn. There's an individual I can't stand that goes by the name of Candace Social Autopsy Owens. And there was a gentleman, I believe one of the shooters, there was a mass shooting somewhere in the world, and they was like, oh yeah, well, they said that how they were listening to her, and I, even though I don't like Candace Owens, right, I'm not gonna sit there and put that person's actions onto her. That's an important distinction to have and distinction to make, that I know the feminine can't do. Like they can't separate and compartmentalize to that great of a degree, right? Just generally speaking, I know every rule has its exemption.
Like, for instance, an insurrection. If this asshole owns Twitter, the world is going to be a much worse place. And it's not just...
Why are you calling him an asshole? You even know him? Like, that's the thing. Like, I made up front to be clear that I don't know Elon Musk. I don't know what his ultimate plans are. But, sir, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, oh, well, this asshole that I've never met a day before in my life. Like, guy, like, come on, yo, for real. Like, for real. Like, yeah, the estrogen is just popping off.
Not just him, this is a problem across social media, but certainly this isn't making the problem better. Anyway, I imagine there's going to be a mass exodus from Twitter. In fact, Newsweek even posted how to delete your Twitter account an hour ago. I didn't have a Twitter account ever until I joined this app to go and look at news and stuff. So it's not that bad, not having one. I just have a very strong...
So you don't even, like, that's the thing. Okay, and I think, I'm glad it's actually coming to an end, because I want to spend the last little bit on this, where I've never considered the internet or social media to have the level of pull that classic media has bestowed upon it, right? If you remember the 90s, you knew how everyone knew that the internet was basically bullshit, yeah? And the problem is, not problem, but just the way things have evolved, is that over the past 30 years, when you have people who grow up knowing nothing but the internet, right? Since the 90s, you have people who are now in their 30s, right? So, and you guys don't know a world without the internet. So thusly, like, yeah, it carries far more weight with you. But ultimately, particularly when you parse down their numbers, I believe like less than 2% of the American population is on Twitter. But YouTube, Facebook, all of them were elevated by the legacy media. Like, oh yes, well, this is such a dangerous thing, and all the speech, and we need more censorship. And it's like, and you, sir, are definitely one of those Obama crowd cheering. Oh yeah. Like, just shut up. Anything that I don't want to hear, anything that I don't like. And unfortunately, really, humans don't work that way. But it's something, one would hope that you could eventually figure out. So guys, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub, enjoy my fantastic voice. You want to get videos like this every single day? Share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute aren't the biggest fans of you boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications. Get something from Teespring. Check me out at Odyssey and Rumble. Links in the description. And speak. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. As far as Elon buying Twitter goes, it's something I didn't have a lot of space to speak on. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit there and do a video about it. But then, like the reaction, I figured is, fuck it, I'll do a little salt mining. All right, it's just a little bit of salt mining, not a lot, I ain't trolling, just a little bit of salt mining. All right. So guys, let me know what you think of the developments and everything else like that, and what kind of sway or influence do you believe the internet truly has on particularly American politics, because most of the people on the internet are young and politics is generally an old person's game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Until the next one.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. Every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem.